This is where I'm torn because I'm like the Minnesota Timberwolves on one hand, I'm like, I feel like they're the better team, but the Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, I'm like, it's very hard to pick against them, especially when you have two players that transcendent. You have Anthony Edwards on that team, and my questions are like, how is Dallas going to be able to guard Karl Anthony Towns? And I think that will be trouble. But like, how are the Timberwolves going to be able to guard Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic? They did a great job versus Denver. I think Jamal Murray dealing with injury. Jokic looked gassed, and they had made it to back-to-back finals when the Dallas Mavericks weren't even in the playoffs last year. I just have a really hard time picking this series. I think it'll go 7. I want it to go 7. That might just be like the fan bias in me because I want to see another incredible series in game 7, but I think Luka Doncic is like one of those players I can't pick against, but at the same time I'm like, Anthony Edwards is also a player I can't pick against. So I'm torn in the series because I want both of these teams to win. And honestly, I wish this was the NBA Finals, and it might very well be, especially when you think about if Anthony Edwards is guarding Jaylen Brown, he's just going to be turning the ball over. So I think either of these teams is going to win the finals.
Yeah, right now, my gut is telling me that it's going to be the Timberwolves because you have Anthony Edwards, who's playing at an unreal level. You have Karl Anthony Towns, who's been, I mean, he was part of the reason why they were so close in the first half to begin with in game 7, and he's been playing really well. Rudy Gobert, certain moments, we wonder why he's on the field, but at the other times, he is, I mean, he couldn't defend Joker, but everybody else, I mean, he was getting his rebounds, and he's been playing decent defense throughout the playoffs. But then you also have Naz Reid, who is an absolute dog. And then the whole rest of their bench there, I think their bench is better than the Mavericks. I think right now I'm leaning towards the Timberwolves. I do think it's going to go 7 games. I think this is going to be a great series, potentially an all-time great series. But at the end of the day, I feel like the Timberwolves have the it factor. And I do think that they're going to win at the end of the day. I'm picking the Timberwolves in 7.
Is this like the closest, like, is this like the closest thing to like a Michael Jordan versus, I know like Anthony Edwards isn't Michael Jordan. We get that, but
He
it
looks
could
like
be
him.
because like there's a great point JJ Redick made where everyone's trying to make someone the next face of the league, and he's like, Michael and Kobe were the face of the league, not because people are like, oh, you're really good at basketball, you're the face of the league. He's like, no, because they won championships, and that's why they became the face of the league. Same with Steph. He won championships. He did it. LeBron won championships and did it. So it's like with Luka, the way he kind of plays like a LeBron James, the way he dominates the basketball and has that step back there, definitely a different game, but it's like a LeBron style of play. And then Anthony Edwards plays like a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant figure where he's this high volume shooting guard who can lock down the best player on the team. I'm like, this may be like a Magic and LeBron thing. My only problem is like, on Minnesota, I know Anthony Edwards is going to go off for me, and I don't think anyone on Dallas can guard him. However, I think Luka can go off every night, but Kyrie Irving is really the X factor in the series. And if Dallas wins the series, it's because Kyrie Irving is going to average 30. And this is a duo where people are like, this will never work. Kyrie Irving, he's a loon. He's a this, he's a that. I'm not going to say the V word here. And then he has all of these off the court distractions, but him and Luka are talking about their relationship. Kyrie's like, yeah, Luka inspired me. He's inspired me to get better at basketball. And with their bond, it's like my head says Minnesota, but my gut and my heart says the Dallas Mavericks. Maybe it's the Texas visiting there for the past month, but I have to go Dallas in 7 because Kyrie Irving being the X factor, and I just don't know who that second guy from Minnesota is going to be.